It's like, how is Apple that different from Samsung? That's the one example everybody gets. It's because of brand. It's the hardest thing to actually achieve. One example of what Apple does was they called it the Retina display. Instead of talking about the specs behind the display, they talked about how it relates to the eye. Those are little branding tricks and principles that can help people understand what a product does and why it matters.
That's a great example. It goes from the specs, which is company-centric, to Retina, which is about the user, about the customer. They're very sophisticated at this. They're among the best in the world at this skill set. Can you also take us through an example of how you've seen brand help with differentiation, the investment in brand or thought to brand really changing the trajectory of the company?
So I'll tell you about a brand positioning that I did for this company called EcoSense. And EcoSense, there was nothing special about that company. It was an architectural lighting company that did LED lighting. It's a category that was commoditized. It was price-driven. It was transactional. In fact, you can't really name a brand. It was very much it's volume-based business, and there's just a fragmented market with just a couple of key players, 2 or 3 players. And so the CEO brought me in because they wanted to create a defendable growth strategy to raise their value. The company's purpose was unclear, but the company was very willing to align on what an ambition could be that was outside of just this boring transactional consumption. And I did a lot of trend analysis. In that case, I was creating something from scratch. And I could give you an example of where consumer research was involved, but I literally created this from scratch. This was before COVID with the stat, but I'm going to ask you this question. What percentage of our lives do you think are spent indoors?